everyone. I'm Dr. Nina, Executive Director of TOVA Community Health, back for another TOVA Tuesday. Exciting to bring with you some fantastic guests in our community, and I have one today that is just not only a phenomenal community servant, but she's also extraordinarily talented and many other things and endeavors. Your Health Matters is really important because talking to healthcare professionals and professionals in our community, our goal is to help you live an optimal quality of life. And today, I'm sharing with you just expand your horizons, a little bit about community centers. And you're going to say, Dr. Nina, what the heck? How do you go there with health? And we're talking about community centers. But my guest today, a CEO of the Claymont Community Center, Allison David, I'm sorry, is really promoting health and wellness in the Claymont Community Center. And I encourage all of you to be involved in your local community center. So today I want to welcome Mrs. Allison David, CEO of the Claymont Community Center, to TOVA Tuesday. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting to talk about the center.
So we'll just get right into it because I think that the community does not know you, and I wanted them to have the opportunity to at least participate in some of the great activities that you have at the Claymont Community Center. And Allison, you didn't grow up in Delaware, but you grew up in a suburb in New York City. But not only do you have a huge undertaking with all of the operations at the Claymont Community Center, you also are a member of the Lions Club, Claymont Lions Club. That's a local organization in the Claymont area. You are the president of the Brandywine Naaman's Rotary Club and a founder of a book club. You also enjoy spending time with family and friends, reading, movies, and games. How do you have all the time to do this?
I don't know. You just do. You do what you love, and you make time for what's important. And that really, my whole life has been driven by connecting with other people and providing opportunities. So the two organizations that I'm a member of are both service organizations. So that speaks to me and who I am. My book club is a group of women that we've been together for 10 years. So it's about books, but it's also about the connections with those women. We've, had babies together. We're raising children. We're at a point in our life where our parents are getting older, and we're losing them. So it is really about connecting with people.
And I'm sure it's like building social cohesion and then having that support from all of these women in that group. It sort of is you build a sense of community even within that small book club.
And I would say that the service clubs, the Lions and the Rotary, are exactly the same in that, you join for whatever reason, but you stay because of the connections with people and what you can do together. And I think if COVID has tested anything, it's tested that concept of community, because we can't be together. So we've had to all be creative and figure out, how do we be together when we can't physically be together? And in our work at the center, that's been particularly challenging.
Yeah, and I would say too, for the seniors at the Claymont Community Center, the Brandywine Senior Center, I'm sure that's been a challenge. How have you overcome that challenge with the seniors? Because we want them to stay connected, though we have to physically distance right now.
Sure. So the Brandywine Senior Center is one of our signature programs. It's one of the things that we've done the longest. So it's an anchor in the community for seniors, and seniors being anyone over 50.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so, I know,
I'm heading in that direction.
I know, I'm already there. It's crazy. So, when COVID first, when everything first shut down, that was the first thing we shut down was the senior center because they were the most vulnerable. And we immediately initiated wellness calls, calling them every week, making sure they're okay, making sure they have what they need. For some of them, getting food was difficult. So we linked them with our food closet for home deliveries if we needed to. I mean, our staff really stepped up and just did what was necessary. We sent cards. We
Oh,
sent care packages, of adult coloring books and cards and things that they can do. I mean, everyone loves puzzles, or almost everyone. So we,
I love
drop off
puzzles.
a puzzle, right? So, it was how just keeping them connected and knowing that someone cares, and providing that sense of hope that this is someday going to, it's not going to be like this forever. I think it's unfortunately longer than any of us expected or obviously wanted, but staying connected has been a key. We did a couple drive-through events with them where they drove through. For the holidays, we gave them poinsettias
Mm-hmm.
and gift cards.
Mm.
So they just, like a drive-through, just picked up their poinsettia and they got to wave to people, and we cheered and had signs, and those things, they matter.
Absolutely. And how can someone maybe who lives in that area in Claymont get involved if they're over 50 in the Claymont Community Center? How do they
Sure.
find out more information or become a member?
Sure. So I would like to say just a quick note. Our name is a bit deceiving. We serve Claymont and the surrounding areas. So you don't have to live in Claymont in order to come here. If you can get here, we can, it's open, to people. So that's an important thing. If people are interested, they can call our main number, 302 792 2757. Just ask for the senior center and you can get connected, and we can talk to you about membership and what that means. There's so many things that the senior center does, and one of the things I want to say is we were really lucky to get a grant from the state of Delaware to provide iPads, tablets to some of our seniors, and we try to rotate them out. But we had a really great experience with one of the groups. I think people don't know how much a senior center can offer, and they think it's just bingo.
Yeah,
And
or
it's not.
it's playing bingo.
Right, there's a ton of different things. We have an exercise room, we have fitness classes, we have
Mm.
art, we have lunch and learns where people, we have different speakers come in. We have, I said art, but like just lots of different things. And one of the things that we have is actually a small group of women who have a Bible study
Mm.
class.
Mm.
And they were the first group to utilize the iPads so that they could Zoom. And it was the first time they had seen each other, in a couple months. And it was just wonderful. Our staff was so inspired by just them connecting with each other and being able to see each other. It was wonderful. And they do their Bible study every couple weeks. So it's just, again, it speaks to the creativity, the use of technology, and just how deeply we all want to be connected, and how we've all found ways to do that.
Exactly. And that we have to be creative because we were forced to do that. But it's really important for us to stay connected, to have a sense of community, to feel like we're important and valued in the
Right.
Claymont Community Center. And community centers do that.
Right.
I just also wanted to say, I want to thank you because before COVID hit, you had invited me to talk about sickle cell and also sickle cell trait awareness. And I was going to talk to your group of seniors about that and the work we do at TOVA, and that was ended. But that they were very open, oh, come,
Absolutely.
and let's have a discussion. And then, so I really thank you for that. And just the level of engagement that your seniors at the center really are very involved, and they seem to they're
Right.
really enjoying their time when they're there. And so I
Right.
am same. I hope we can get back to being able to
Absolutely.
connect in a different way.
Yep.
But also, this show, I'm a healthcare provider, and I'm a holistic medicine practitioner. But
Sure.
there are other benefits when we talk about outside of just having a community center in your local area. And I just wanted to say that the community centers promote exercise. If you said you had an exercise room, it benefits the local economy. It keeps adolescents safe because you have these after school programs that they can get involved in, also get access to tutoring if they're struggling in any of their academic areas where they need more support in. It also provides meeting spaces so people can connect, get together. It boosts property values, which I had no idea, but I'm not surprised. Overall, it does promote health and wellness. I saw the track out there. You have the community garden. Can you talk about those things?
Sure. So we have a football field, a
Hmm.
quarter-mile track. We
Hmm.
have 2 baseball diamonds and a dog park.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yep. And so I think, one of the things we've seen clearly since COVID started has been an increase in the use of the track.
Hmm.
I mean, people are out there, all the time, walking, running, just playing, kids playing on the field, just running around, kicking a ball, whatever. And that really speaks to our mission. So, our mission is to enhance the community by addressing the human needs of wellness, belongingness, and esteem. So, that health priority for us, we live that all the time. And we live that through, both physical health and mental health. So, physical, we have all of these, great amenities that are open to the community. We also partner with other organizations. So the St. Clair Medical Van is actually here today, in
Mm-hmm.
the parking lot, providing, preventative health screenings, things like that. And then also a commitment to mental health. And so mental health is, again, that connection with other human beings, but it's also, we have providers who lease space from us that are mental health providers. They're psychiatrists and therapists who operate their businesses here and provide counseling and therapy. So those, I think it's very holistic in that respect. And we're always kind of looking for who are the partners that we can bring in to provide more of that for the community.
Wow. And like I said, it's just so many different services. I'm just amazed that you offer at the Claymont Community Center. So anyone can find something that they can get into or be connected with. And the fact that you also support small businesses, them being able to lease space so that they can provide services to the community, I think is very honorable as well. And at reasonable prices as well per square footage. So I want to thank you for
Absolutely.
that and hope that you can continue to do that. And I'm sure that financially, just as I'm a small business. It's been a struggle so that we can continue to try to work with small businesses because we are the economic engine to build back this economy. And clearly the Claymont Community Center values that as well, because when people are working and people feel value and feel that they belong, they're actually live a better quality of life.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think the Claymont Center is a hub for the community, and you have to look at the collaboration of public, private, government, nonprofit, all of those pieces of community. And that's what makes it thrive. So yeah, we support small businesses, medium businesses. We're lucky we operate our programs, but we also have 15 partnering organizations that operate in the center. So we have the State Service Center, the Claymont State Service Center. So people can come for public benefits like SNAP and medical care and things like that.
Enroll in Medicaid if they need
right, Medicaid, all that kind of, all those kind of public supports. And then we have private businesses. We have a cleaning company that's here. We have a home health care organization. I mentioned the therapists. We have a private daycare that operates here. We have Head Start. So, again, when you look at this center, there are services being provided from very young to very old. So it really is serving the lifespan of people, which is, to me, like, that's the magic of this place. People come here for something, and they say, wow, I had no idea there were so many other things here. And that, I love when that happens. And I want to tell more people about it. And the other thing we want to tell people to remember about the community center is, you don't just come here just because you need something. You come because you want to, because you want to walk on the track, or you want to go to the dance school because that's another building partner we have, or you want to give back to the community. However you want to engage in community, you can find a way to do that here. And that's, to me, the most special thing about this place. It is wacky on some days because there's so many things going on, and it's a challenging story to tell. But I'm telling you, when you walk through the doors, you feel the magic, because it's people. And I can't say enough about the staff that throughout this pandemic have shown the community how much they care. And we want people to be here. Obviously, during the pandemic, we need everyone to be safe, and distanced and masked and all of that. But again, we're going to get through this, and we have a huge banner on the front of the building that says we're in this together. And it's the truth.
Yes, we will. And it's, like I said, I think it's really important that people know in our community the benefits of being engaged in their local community center. It also provides health benefits, but it also provides psychosocial benefits as well, as you shared. I also wanted to ask you that there are other community centers in the local area. Can you share some of those as well? I'm trying to hit the screen.
The closest to us is actually the Knollwood Community Center, but there is the Bellevue Community Center, Latin Americans Community Center, Kingswood Community Center. And I think what's important to note is, while we all have some similarities, we also are different depending on what the community wants. Right. And so community centers typically reflect their communities and the wants and needs of their communities. So I know, the people that run all of these centers, and like what we're doing here, they are doing great work in their communities.
Yep. And I also, I just kind of perused around because I want our community to know that wherever they are, probably within 15 miles, you're going to find a community center close to your home. Some of the ones in Newcastle County that I came across are the Kingswood Community Center, the Latin American Community Center, the Rose Hill Community Center, which is over in Newcastle, the Williams Hicks Community Center, which I had an opportunity of when I grew up going to summer camp there and attending many programs there, the Jewish Community Center, which is up on 202, the Bellevue Community Center, the Knollwood Community Center, which you shared. So get in where you fit in. There's many community centers. There's probably one within 15 miles of your home. Would you say that is a fair assessment?
Oh, I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're in the middle of communities, and they are in a lot of ways a hub for their communities. And I think people don't realize how much there is to take advantage of.
Right. And so also we were talking about at the Claymont Community Center, we were talking about after school programs. You have the Empowered Youth Program. You have the Brandywine Senior, which we talked about. So all you seniors over 50, you don't just play bingo there. There's other activities that you can get involved with. So please get engaged in one closest to your neighborhood. The food closet, which I'm sure probably you saw an uptick of need during this pandemic. The Claymont Learning Center, what I'd like you to talk about a little bit, and renting meeting space. Maybe you can start a book club.
Sure. So the food closet, I just want to say, is really special what's happening now. We have seen such an increase, not only in need, but in the generosity of the community. Businesses, church groups, local people just bringing food, sending in money for us to feed people. So it really is neighbors helping neighbors. And it's been incredibly moving to see people stepping up in that way. And I think it's one of the things there's so many bad things to remember about this time, but there's so many incredibly good things that have happened that we need to remember and honor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also want to say too that I want to thank you so much for preserving a lot of history in the Claymont community. So the Claymont High School was the first high school in the state of Delaware to integrate. And at the Claymont Community Center, you are helping to preserve that history. There's lots of memorabilia and a history room that you helped to create. Can you talk about that? I was amazed, and I enjoyed the experience of just walking through and seeing all of the history, the pictures, the banners, the yearbooks that you have helped to preserve. Can you talk about that, Allison?
Sure. So this building was built in the early 1920s. And the first graduating class was 1928. In 1952, a legal decision allowed 12 African American students to enroll. And so the Claymont 12, as they're referred to, began school. And, it was a peaceful integration, which is an important part of the story. And this place, the history of this place, is an important part of the civil rights movement. When I got here, I cannot take credit for the history room. It was here. I just do my best to make sure that it stays, because that story is incredibly important, especially now as we work towards, racial and social justice. You have to know that story to know where, where we came from, where we are, and how do we get better. I encourage people to learn more about that story and talk more. I'm a huge fan of social media, but I don't think if people aren't sitting down over Zoom and when we can all be together again, sitting down talking to one another to understand each other, that's one of the ways we move communities forward. So this place is very special and very unique because we have that history and because we want to be part of what's happening now and what's going to happen in the future, to have important and sometimes painful and awkward conversations about about things that are happening. But that's the only way you move forward. So the only way out of a tunnel, I always say, like, the only way out of a tunnel is to go through it.
Exactly.
Because if you go backwards, you're not really getting out of it. So you got to keep that momentum, and that momentum happens from people having conversations. And that, when we look at our priorities for the center, wellness certainly is one, youth is certainly one, and this idea of engagement, of people in the community really engaging in those kinds of conversations, and just engaging civically in their neighborhoods, and having a say in what happens in their neighborhoods. That's all really important.
Yeah, and I want to say that I actually met someone who went to Claymont High School, and talked to him about the historical preservation of the meeting room, but also that he shared to me that the community was so cohesive that the integration of Black Americans into the high school wasn't as difficult to transition than other communities around Delaware. And so maybe there was just something special about the Claymont community that allowed for those students to be that I want to say they were the forebearers to move forward when other, communities, it took a little bit of longer time to do. So I want to thank you for that as well. But we're going to be closing soon. I just wanted to see if you had any last minute thoughts. I mean, you gave so many pearls of wisdom today, and I encourage all of you to get involved in your local community center. If you can't find one, you call my office. You can go to our website, leave us a message at contact@tovacommunityhealth.org. I or my staff will help you find one in your local area. Allison, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any last minute thoughts?
No, just I want to echo what you said. I think that there's so many benefits to checking out your local community center. Of course, I love this one the most because I spend a lot of time here. And again, the staff, any place is only as great as the staff. So I just want to add, my staff is fantastic. We love our team. And we're looking forward to having more people back in the center to take advantage and to enjoy what they would like or get what they need.
Absolutely. And it's been an adjustment, but I want to say that we have really had to be creative in ways to keep our communities connected, engaged. And you have done a fantastic job at the Claymont Community Center. So I want to thank you for all you do and to continue your work serving the community. I think we are going to end TOVA Tuesday today. And again, I want to thank CEO of the Claymont Community Center, Mrs. Allison David. We have talked a lot about the health and social benefits of being involved in a community center. If you want to hear more about TOVA Health TV, please visit us on our website at www.tovacommunityhealth.org. You can also give us a call at 302-429-5870. Please like us on Facebook and Instagram at TOVA Community Health. And if you like this episode today, please donate to our Cash App at $TOVA Health. Thank you again for coming on Your Health Matters on TOVA Tuesday. And if you want to get access to this episode, you can also go to our TOVA Health YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Allison, and keep up the good work and the good fight for the community.
Thank you, you too.